Imagine this: one wrong step has broken his leg, and a blizzard will reach the valley before dark. He cannot walk, their food is scarce, and the distant shelter offers no immediate warmth or protection. Without doctors or roads, survival now depends on what the others choose to do as the bitter cold approaches. An injured person drastically slows down a nomadic group, impacting their ability to reach vital resources. Staying longer for recovery meant burning more precious fuel, a vital resource in the freezing Ice Age environment. Extra mouths to feed without extra hunters could quickly deplete a group's carefully gathered food supply. More complex or extended shelters might be needed, diverting time and effort from other crucial survival tasks. Fewer active hunters meant less food, a precarious balance that could quickly tip towards collective starvation. A prolonged stop made the group a more visible target for predators, increasing the constant threat of danger. Every day spent immobile meant more exposure to extreme cold, increasing the risks of hypothermia and frostbite. Healthy members bore the burden of extra tasks, straining their energy and reducing their individual capacity. Important migration decisions might be delayed or altered, affecting the entire group's long-term survival strategy. Children and other vulnerable people could face heightened risks, as group resources were diverted towards recovery. Despite injury, this person might repair tools, process food, or teach skills, contributing from a seated position. Would your group stop for one injured person if winter was closing in behind you, risking everyone's survival? But what happens to the body after such an injury? Here is what ancient bones can tell us about survival. Living bone is not static, it dynamically responds to trauma, initiating a complex process of self-repair. When a bone breaks, the body forms new tissue, eventually creating a callus to bridge the fractured ends. The size and shape of this healing callus can reveal if the individual survived for weeks or even months after injury. Extensive remodeling, smoothing the callus, suggests survival for years, as the bone gradually reshapes itself. Poor alignment in the healed bone suggests it mended in an altered position, possibly impacting future mobility. Joint changes, like extra bone growth or uneven wear, indicate long-term compensation for a previous injury. Multiple healed fractures across the skeleton paint a picture of a challenging, often dangerous, prehistoric life. Significant bone loss or severe deformity implies a long-term disability, a challenge carried through life. If injury occurred near death, bones show little to no visible healing, leaving the fracture raw and exposed. Early new bone formation, however, proves survival for some time, even if recovery was not yet complete. Bone reveals survival and healing, but rarely the precise care or daily challenges endured by that individual. The first hours after an injury were critical. The immediate goal was usually survival, not perfect repair. Moving away from immediate threats like predators or harsh weather was an urgent, practical response. Controlling visible bleeding, perhaps with a folded hide, was a simple yet crucial immediate action. Protecting the damaged area from further harm, perhaps with padded branches, was also an immediate priority. Reducing unnecessary movement of the injured limb would help prevent further damage and ease the pain. Finding or quickly building a simple windbreak provided crucial protection from the biting Ice Age winds. Maintaining body warmth was paramount, preventing hypothermia in an era without central heating or blankets. Providing water was essential, especially if the person experienced shock or was unable to reach it themselves. Someone would likely watch the injured person's condition, looking for signs of worsening or stable recovery. These were practical responses to immediate danger, driven by necessity rather than formal medical protocols. The exact methods remain unknown, but the immediate goal was always the same: to simply survive the critical first phase. Could prehistoric people have used splints? Reducing movement helps protect an injured limb, aiding natural healing. An unsupported broken leg moving painfully could cause further damage, delaying recovery and increasing discomfort. Conversely, a padded leg held stable between two straight branches reduces movement, offering protection and support. Straight branches were readily available in many environments, providing a rigid base for early immobilization. Strips of bark, flexible yet strong, could have been shaped to fit around a limb, then secured in place. Hide strips or woven plant fibers served as binding, holding the stabilizing elements firmly against the body. However, direct archaeological evidence for specific Paleolithic splints remains extremely rare or absent today. We know immobilization is biologically useful, but we cannot always prove its use through archaeological finds. The exact materials and techniques used to support a damaged limb are often reconstructed possibilities, not certainties. Suspected fractures require professional medical care today. This information is historical, not for self-treatment. Survival demanded more than just making it through the first night. bone healing could take many long weeks. During this extended period, the injured individual desperately needed a continuous supply of food for energy. Water, often heavy and hard to obtain, had to be brought regularly, especially in the cold, dry ice age. Constant warmth was vital. The injured body had to conserve energy for healing, not for battling the cold. Shelter needed maintenance. Leaky hides or drafts could compromise recovery and threaten fragile lives. Protection from predators or rival groups was always necessary, especially for immobile members of the camp. Maintaining basic hygiene, though challenging, could help reduce the risk of infection in a vulnerable state. Uninterrupted sleep was crucial, allowing the body to dedicate its resources to the demanding task of healing. Careful movement and reduced strain on the injured limb prevented re-injury and supported proper bone fusion. The group's daily routine shifted, tasks were redistributed, and travel plans often adapted to the injury. This prolonged care demanded significant time and energy, a collective cost for the entire survival group. What would be harder, surviving the initial injury, or depending on others for many months of recovery? Beyond the visible fracture, an unseen danger lurked: infection, a silent threat bones may not always show. Broken skin forms a gateway, allowing unseen microbes to enter the body, contaminating the internal environment. Soil, animal material, unwashed hands, or even water could introduce dangerous microbes into open wounds. Many infections, even fatal ones, leave little or no clear mark on the bones, making them hard to detect. Only when an infection progresses to affect the bone directly might we see subtle changes in the skeletal record. Many fatal infections would tragically leave few, if any, lasting signs on the bone, obscuring their true impact. Archaeologists, therefore, observe only a partial glimpse into the full medical story of prehistoric injuries. Clean water was distinct from muddy water. The practical knowledge of avoiding contamination was crucial. Fire provided warmth and light, offering comfort but not magical sterilization against all unseen dangers. Archaeological discoveries offer intriguing insights. Consider Shanidar 1, a remarkable Neanderthal individual. This person lived with severe physical impairments, including limited use of one arm and a leg, for many years. How could someone with such major limitations obtain enough food and protection to survive so long? Social support, though exact care is unknown, offers a reasonable interpretation for such prolonged survival. Another remarkable case comes from Borneo. A young person survived a deliberate leg amputation tens of millennia ago. The bone showed clear long-term healing, proving sustained care and sophisticated prehistoric knowledge existed. This evidence points to advanced prehistoric medical skill and sustained, compassionate community support. Some remains suggest children received prolonged care, surviving conditions that required constant support. However, diagnoses and behavioral interpretations can remain debated, reminding us of the record's incompleteness. The archaeological evidence remains incomplete, offering clues rather than a full, unambiguous medical history. Was caring for an injured member compassion, practical survival strategy, or perhaps a combination of both? Emotional attachment, family bonds, friendship, and social obligation likely played a significant supporting role. Reciprocity, shared knowledge, or the hope of future contributions also provided powerful practical incentives. It is highly probable that these complex motivations were not separate, but often coexisted within ancient groups. The deeper question is not about niceness, but how cooperation became an indispensable part of human survival. An injured adult still contributed memory, skills, or childcare, maintaining vital social relationships for the group. Returning to our hunter, time has passed. His body has begun its repair, aided by his resilient group. Bone shows survival, a remarkable testament to human resilience, yet it cannot reveal every act of quiet care. The human body performs the repair. The group, through its cooperation, creates the conditions for that repair. The Ice Age was not survived only by those who never fell, but also by people whose groups helped them stand again. Like this video, share it, and subscribe to Glacial. If one injured member held knowledge, how much risk?